2026 Ford Mustang Cobra R, the untamed apex of American muscle, reborn for a new generation, but still carrying the soul of a legend. From the very first glance, the Cobra R demands respect. Its design language speaks in pure aggression, every inch sculpted for speed, every surface engineered for aerodynamic efficiency. At the front, you're greeted by a deep blacked-out mesh grille, bordered by sleek adaptive LED matrix headlights that cut through the dark like laser beams. The massive hood vents aren't just for show. They're functional, feeding cool air directly into the supercharged V8 that lurks beneath. And when you see the new Cobra emblem shimmering in chrome, you instantly know this is not a regular Mustang. This is Ford's purest expression of performance. From the side, the stance is unmistakably muscular. The 2026 Cobra R sits lower and wider than any previous Mustang, riding on forged 20-inch lightweight alloy wheels wrapped in Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires designed for maximum grip. Every detail serves a purpose, from the aggressive side skirts to the extended rear fenders that house a wider track for improved stability. Behind those wheels, you'll spot massive Brembo carbon ceramic brakes with red calipers, built to deliver fade-free stopping power even under the most brutal conditions. The rear design completes the picture of raw performance. A massive adjustable carbon fiber wing crowns the deck lid, generating serious downforce at high speeds. The quad titanium exhausts emerge from a functional rear diffuser, producing a symphony that's half thunderstorm, half war cry. And when those signature tri-bar taillights illuminate, they serve as the final glimpse most rivals will ever get. Step inside, and the Cobra R transforms from a visual beast into a driver's machine. The interior is a balance of race-ready minimalism and modern sophistication. Ford's engineers have stripped away unnecessary clutter to create a cockpit focused entirely on performance. You're greeted by Alcantara-trimmed Recaro bucket seats with aggressive bolstering, designed to keep you firmly in place during high-G maneuvers. In front of you sits a flat-bottom steering wheel wrapped in suede, complete with tactile aluminum paddle shifters and drive mode controls within easy reach. The fully digital 13.2-inch instrument cluster blends seamlessly with a 12.3-inch center touchscreen running Ford's latest Sync 5 system. Every display is customizable, from performance gauges and shift indicators to lap timers and G-force meters. Even the graphics change dynamically depending on your selected drive mode: normal, sport, track, or the ferocious drag mode that unlocks the Cobra R's full potential. Carbon fiber dominates the cabin. On the dashboard, the door panels and the center console, reminding you that every ounce counts. The sound system, a bespoke Bang & Olufsen setup, has been acoustically tuned to balance crystal-clear audio with the unmistakable growl of the supercharged engine. Yet despite all the track focus, Ford hasn't forgotten comfort. Wireless charging, dual-zone climate control, and seamless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto integration make this cabin feel just as refined as it is relentless. But let's get to the heart of the matter: the powertrain. Under that sculpted carbon fiber hood lives a 5.8-liter supercharged V8 engine, hand-built and fine-tuned to deliver a staggering 760 horsepower and 710 pound-feet of torque. Ford calls it the most powerful production Mustang ever, and the numbers don't lie. Mated to a lightning-fast 7-speed dual-clutch Tremec transmission, the Cobra R rockets from 0 to 60 mph in just 3.2 seconds, with a top speed that surpasses 200 miles per hour. What's even more impressive is how it delivers that performance. The throttle response is immediate. There's no hesitation, no electronic lag. Every gear change feels mechanical, deliberate, and brutally fast. The supercharger whine mixes with the deep V8 roar to create a sound that can only be described as mechanical perfection. On the track, the Cobra R feels like it's wired to your instincts. The suspension setup is all new. Ford's adaptive MagneRide dampers have been re-engineered with a stiffer calibration for cornering precision. Add in an active rear differential, upgraded anti-roll bars, and a reinforced chassis structure made from lightweight carbon composites, and you get a car that handles like it's reading your mind. Steering feedback is razor sharp, giving you an almost telepathic connection to the road. And thanks to a nearly perfect weight distribution, the Cobra R remains composed and balanced, even when pushed to its absolute limits. The braking performance is equally remarkable. Those Brembo carbon ceramic brakes bring the car from 60 to 0 in under 100 feet, giving you complete confidence lap after lap. The grip from those Michelin tires is immense, allowing cornering forces that easily rival some of Europe's best exotics. But what truly defines the Cobra R isn't just speed, it's the emotion. This car is visceral, loud, unapologetic. It feels alive in your hands, and that's something you can't measure in horsepower or seconds. Whether you're carving through a mountain road or flying down a straightaway, the Cobra R constantly reminds you that it's more than a car. It's an experience. Even off the track, the Cobra R manages to surprise. Switch to comfort mode, and the adaptive dampers soften, the transmission smooths out, and the cabin settles into a surprisingly civilized cruiser. The seats remain firm, but the ride becomes manageable for daily driving. Fuel economy isn't its strong suit. Expect around 14 miles per gallon in the city and about 21 on the highway, but if you're buying a Cobra R, that's not what you're worried about. Now, let's talk numbers. The 2026 Ford Mustang Cobra R starts at around $130,000, positioning it in supercar territory. Opt for the Carbon Aero package, track telemetry system, and race-grade performance upgrades, and the price can climb to $160,000. But when you consider what you're getting, the power, the precision, the heritage, it's a fraction of what you'd pay for a European exotic offering similar performance. The Cobra R isn't trying to be polite or subtle. It's not chasing lap times just to impress statistics. It's a statement, a declaration that raw, analog driving passion still matters in a world rapidly going electric and quiet. Ford has built this car for those who still crave the rumble of an American V8, the smell of hot rubber, and the rush of adrenaline when the tires bite into asphalt. In essence, the 2026 Mustang Cobra R is more than the ultimate Mustang. It's the final word in American muscle performance. It bridges the gap between road and racetrack, nostalgia and innovation. It's the kind of machine that doesn't just turn heads. It turns every drive into a moment of pure exhilaration. So, the next time you see a 2026 Cobra R, remember, that's not just another sports car. That's the sound of American engineering roaring defiantly into the future. The 2026 Plymouth GTX, a name that once ruled the muscle car wars of the late 60s, now reborn in a world of electrified performance, cutting-edge design, and raw American attitude. If you thought Detroit's muscle era was dead, this car just kicked the door wide open and shouted, "We're back!" Let's start with the first thing that hits you, the exterior. One look at the 2026 GTX and you instantly realize it's not chasing trends, it's setting them. Plymouth has taken its heritage seriously, blending old-school muscle DNA with futuristic styling that turns every head on the street. The front end carries a bold, squared-off stance that feels like a modern interpretation of the classic 1971 GTX. The split grille design, framed by aggressive LED matrix headlights, gives it a menacing glare even at a standstill. The hood is sculpted with deep air intakes and active aero vents that breathe performance, not decoration. It's a car that looks ready to race even before you hit the start button. The designers clearly wanted to make a statement that the GTX isn't just nostalgia, it's evolution. From the side, the wide fenders hug 21-inch forged aluminum wheels, wrapped in ultra-low-profile performance tires that almost look too mean to be street legal. The roofline is sleek but muscular, and the flowing silhouette gives it that fastback spirit the original GTX was known for. Around back, the retro-inspired taillights stretch across the rear deck, glowing in a continuous red line, with a massive active spoiler that rises automatically at speed. Dual exhausts? They're still there, but now they're hybrid-tuned, combining electric sound management with genuine V8 growl. It's a muscle car that respects its roots while flexing every bit of 2026 technology. Now step inside and it's a whole new world. Plymouth has taken the American muscle car interior and completely reimagined it for the modern age. The first thing you notice when the doors open is how the GTX welcomes you. Ambient lighting pulses in the shape of the old GTX logo, while the seats automatically adjust to your preferred driving position. The cockpit feels like a fighter jet, with a low driving position, wide center console, and a digital instrument cluster that can morph into different modes, from classic analog dials to full-track telemetry. The 15-inch curved touchscreen dominates the dashboard, seamlessly integrating with the GTX's AI-powered infotainment system called Road Mind. It controls everything, from drive modes to real-time G-force tracking and even voice control. Temperature and lighting, the materials inside are nothing short of premium. Soft Alcantara, real carbon fiber inserts, brushed aluminum and hand-stitched leather wrap nearly every surface. Even the steering wheel is designed with precision. Flat-bottomed, thick-rimmed, and finished with red contrast stitching that screams performance. The front seats are sculpted racing buckets with integrated cooling and heating, while the rear offers surprising comfort for what's essentially a performance coupe. Every inch of the interior feels purpose-built yet luxurious. The sound insulation is remarkable, but when you want to hear that engine, one tap on the muscle mode button opens up the exhaust acoustics for pure auditory pleasure. Performance-wise, the 2026 GTX is not just impressive, it's terrifying in the best way possible. Under that sculpted hood lies Plymouth's most advanced powertrain ever, a twin-turbocharged 5.2-liter HEMI V8 paired with dual electric motors, delivering a combined 890 horsepower and 950 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60? Just 2.6 seconds. That's supercar territory. But what makes the GTX truly special is how it balances brute force with precision. It features an adaptive suspension system that reads road conditions 200 times per second, making real-time adjustments to keep it glued to the pavement. The new e-torque hybrid system doesn't just boost acceleration. It eliminates turbo lag and improves fuel efficiency when cruising. When you drive it, the car feels alive. Every corner, every straight stretch, it's responsive, immediate, and thrilling. There's a raw mechanical soul hiding beneath all that digital sophistication. The steering is sharp and weighted perfectly, giving you that old-school muscle feedback with new-school accuracy. The braking system is a Brembo carbon ceramic setup with regenerative assistance, giving both confidence and control. And with 5 distinct drive modes, Eco, Sport, Track, Drag, and Legacy, you can completely change how the car behaves. Legacy mode, by the way, is genius. It disables most electronic assists, gives the exhaust a raw tone, and even simulates the mechanical gear shifts of the old 426 HEMI GTX. It's like stepping back into the golden age of muscle cars, only this time with 21st century power. But the 2026 Plymouth GTX isn't all about brute strength. It's surprisingly refined when you want it to be. In normal drive mode, it's smooth, quiet, and even efficient, with its hybrid setup capable of 35 miles of pure electric driving. The transition between electric and gasoline power is seamless, almost unnoticeable. And when you switch to full electric mode, it still delivers 300 horsepower instantly, perfect for city driving without burning fuel. Plymouth wanted the GTX to be a car that satisfies every type of driver, the speed lover, the nostalgic fan, and even the daily commuter. Technology-wise, it's loaded with the latest advancements. It includes Level 3 autonomous driving, a 360-degree radar-based safety system, lane centering assist, adaptive cruise, and predictive collision detection. The GTX even learns your driving habits. Over time, it adjusts its throttle sensitivity, suspension stiffness, and even steering feedback to match your preferred style. The AI system can also recommend the best driving routes for spirited drives, highlighting twisty roads nearby. It's the kind of car that feels like a personal companion, rather than just a machine. Of course, all this power, beauty, and technology comes at a price. The 2026 Plymouth GTX starts at around $95,000 for the base hybrid V8 model. while the fully loaded Performance Edition, which adds carbon fiber panels, upgraded aero kits, and the TrackTech package, goes up to about $125,000. That might sound steep, but when you consider that it outperforms many European sports cars costing twice as much, it's actually a bargain. And knowing that you're driving a piece of revived American history, that's priceless. There's something special about this car beyond just numbers and specs. It's emotional. The moment you press the ignition, the GTX doesn't just start, it roars to life as if awakening from decades of slumber. You feel that pulse, that muscle, that heritage flowing through every rev. It reminds you of a time when cars were about passion, not just practicality. Plymouth has managed to resurrect not just a name, but a feeling. The kind of feeling that connects generations of car lovers. The 2026 GTX isn't trying to compete with Europe or Japan. It's reclaiming its American throne. It's a symbol of rebellion, nostalgia, and innovation, all packed into one roaring masterpiece. For anyone who thought Plymouth was gone for good, this car is living proof that legends never die. They just wait for the right time to strike back. So, whether you're a die-hard classic muscle fan or a modern performance enthusiast, the new Plymouth GTX demands your attention. It's bold, it's beautiful, and it's built to remind the world what American muscle truly stands for. The king of the street is back, and it's wearing a GTX badge once again. The 2026 Dodge Charger Hellcat HEMI has landed, and it's not here to make friends. It's here to remind the automotive world that raw American muscle isn't dead. It's angrier, louder, and faster than ever. While everyone else is chasing electric dreams and silent acceleration, Dodge just dropped something that sounds like thunder, smells like gasoline, and moves like a missile on four wheels. Let's dive into this absolute beast, the 2026 Dodge Charger Hellcat HEMI, because this, right here, is the rebirth of true performance insanity. The first thing that hits you is the exterior. One look, and you instantly know it's not some soft crossover pretending to be sporty. This is pure muscle DNA sculpted in metal. Dodge went all out with a design that's both futuristic and brutally aggressive. The front fascia looks like it's ready to inhale the road. A wider grille with an enlarged Hellcat badge sits dead center, surrounded by new adaptive LED headlights that pierce through the dark like predator eyes. The hood has been completely reworked with a larger central scoop and twin heat extractors, feeding that monstrous Hemi with more air while keeping the engine cool when the supercharger screams at full throttle. From the side, the Charger has a wider stance than ever before, with muscular fender flares and sharp creases that catch the light perfectly. The body sits lower to the ground, hugging the asphalt thanks to a redesigned suspension geometry and 21-inch forged alloy wheels wrapped in Pirelli P0 performance tires. The rear tells its own story. A new LED light bar runs across the tail with a bold Dodge script in the middle, while a carbon fiber rear diffuser and quad exhaust outlets complete the look. You don't just see this car, you feel it. Even parked, it looks like it's moving. Now step inside, and the story only gets more intense. The 2026 Charger Hellcat HEMI's interior is a masterclass in blending luxury and intimidation. Dodge didn't just upgrade materials, they redefined the cabin. You're greeted by Alcantara and Napa leather wrapping every surface, contrasted with red stitching and carbon fiber inserts that remind you this isn't just about comfort, it's about control. The new flat-bottom steering wheel features illuminated Hellcat insignia, metal paddle shifters, and a tactile feel that screams performance. Right in front, you've got a massive 14.5-inch curved digital instrument cluster, fully customizable with real-time performance stats. Boost pressure, oil temps, G-forces, launch control status, everything. And beside it, a 13-inch infotainment touchscreen powered by Dodge's Uconnect 6 system with full wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The graphics are sharper, the response is instant, and the system even includes a track mode that transforms the interface into a race-inspired layout showing horsepower output and transmission temperature in real time. The seats are bolstered perfectly. They hold you tight when you floor it, but stay comfortable enough for long drives. Ambient lighting glows through the cabin with customizable colors, and even the sound insulation has been upgraded. But let's be honest, you won't need insulation when you've got that supercharged V8 roaring under the hood. The interior experience is immersive. Every switch, every control, every sound feels crafted to remind you that you're sitting inside something alive. And now, the heart of the monster, performance. This is where Dodge throws subtlety straight out the window. The 2026 Charger Hellcat HEMI packs a 6.2-liter supercharged HEMI V8 engine tuned to deliver an eye-watering 807 horsepower and 707 pound-feet of torque. Yes, you heard that right. Over 800 horses sent to the rear wheels through an updated 8-speed Torque-A-Flight automatic transmission that shifts quicker and hits harder than ever. To 60? Just 3.3 seconds. Quarter mile? You're looking at mid-10s on street tires. Top speed? North of 200 miles per hour. But the raw numbers only tell half the story. It's the way this car delivers that power that makes it special. Instant, violent, and absolutely addictive. The supercharger whine builds like a jet engine while the exhaust crackles on deceleration, and when you floor it, the Charger doesn't just accelerate, it attacks the horizon. Dodge also gave the 2026 model major handling upgrades. A new adaptive Bilstein suspension with multiple drive modes, street, sport, track, and drag, lets you tailor the ride to any mood. The electronic limited slip differential has been recalibrated for sharper cornering, and massive Brembo brakes with 6-piston front calipers provide incredible stopping power. Even the steering has been fine-tuned to give better feedback and weight at high speeds. This isn't just a straight-line car anymore. It's a corner-carving muscle missile. But here's the shocker. Dodge also introduced a mild hybrid assist system called eTorque Plus that adds instant low-end torque and smooths power delivery. Don't worry, it's not turning electric. It's just making the beast even more efficient and responsive. Combined with the improved aerodynamics, the 2026 Hellcat manages slightly better fuel economy while still retaining that unapologetic roar of the combustion era. When you're behind the wheel, it's an experience that borders on insanity. The exhaust note alone could wake an entire neighborhood, and that's before you even hit the throttle. Launch control and line lock features are now smarter, helping you pull off perfect drag strip runs every single time. You also get an updated performance recorder system that logs your 0 to 60 times, lap data, and even records video footage of your runs using onboard cameras. Dodge hasn't forgotten safety either. The new Charger Hellcat HEMI includes adaptive cruise control, blind spot detection, lane keep assist, and forward collision warning. Though let's be honest, if you're driving this thing like it's meant to be driven, you'll be relying more on your instincts than sensors. And while everyone else is switching to electric, Dodge knows there's still a place for emotion. The Charger Hellcat HEMI represents that last chapter of pure combustion dominance. A car built not to please regulations, but to ignite passion. Every press of the accelerator feels like a rebellion, every gear shift like a statement. It's not politically correct, it's mechanically perfect. Now let's talk about price. The 2026 Dodge Charger Hellcat HEMI starts at around $93,000, but depending on options like carbon fiber interior trim, racing seats, or the wide-body package, that number can easily climb past $110,000. Expensive? Maybe. Worth it? Absolutely, but because there's simply nothing else like it. You're buying more than a car. You're buying a piece of history, the last of the true American muscle icons before everything turns silent. To sum it up, the 2026 Dodge Charger Hellcat HEMI isn't just a car. It's a declaration that performance still matters, sound still matters, and emotion still matters. It's raw, it's unapologetic, and it's everything a car enthusiast could ever dream of. So when the world is whispering electric, Dodge just screamed back with supercharged fury. The 2026 Hellcat HEMI is proof that legends never die. They just get louder. If you felt the adrenaline just from watching, imagine what it's like to drive it. This is Auto Rush Pro, And if you love the sound of horsepower and the smell of burnt rubber, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and stay tuned for more automotive insanity. Because next time, we're taking you even deeper into the world of performance machines that refuse to play by the rules. This was the 2026 Dodge Charger Hellcat HEMI, the last true American monster.